This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
As we now finally and officially get into the glorious days of summer and all of the goodness that comes along with it, hopefully some vacation time. Of course, one of yours and my favorite pastimes, Abe's getting to watch baseball games.
Yep.
Did you? Now, am I have this in my head incorrectly? You went to college on a baseball scholarship, did you not?
Yes. Played at Liberty University. Went to Liberty University, played baseball there, and then played baseball from like 5 years old to probably close to 28. And it was my first love, and I just love the sport. And we even have clients now. We have some clients that some male clients that play in men's leagues around the area. So
sure. I
get to live and continue my baseball love through some of our clients.
That's it. Living vicariously, because you've got plenty of work to do when it comes to the work you now do, sir.
Yes, that keeps us very busy.
That's right. Thinking about our financial plans, our retirement plans, but we all have a job here. As your fellow radio co-host, it is my job to marry your two loves together. So that's what we are going to start talking about today. We are going to bring baseball into this financial conversation,
Sweet.
Sir.
Let's do it.
So as we all know by now, we've seen all the different changes and rules that have been applied to Major League Baseball. I'm here for the pitch clock with kind of keeping time up, right?
Yeah.
They had to make some changes. That's it. People were getting a little bit impatient. We're living in the world of 2023 now. So we have pitch clock. Yeah.
Bigger bases now. The bases are about 3 inches bigger, which should apparently result in fewer injuries as the guys are sliding around trying to steal bases. You know how, some teams would shift the infields,
that defense on the infield,
Yeah, let's say you had a batter that would always hit to right field, where they would shift the infield over to the right-hand side of the field to try to play to that, advantage.
What's that third baseman doing in the right field?
So now all 4 infielders are required to be on the infield dirt with 2 on each side of second base, and they can move as soon as the ball leaves a pitcher's hands. So there's all kinds of rules that weren't around when I was playing, but I think it's good. Keep the players safe, keep the game fun. More home runs are always fun, and keeping people safe. So baseball was my first love, and those are some of the rules that have changed to baseball, and rules are changing to the retirement game all the time too.
Well, and that's the thing about baseball. They're changing to stay relevant, to keep up with the times, and I think that's a very relevant conversation that we need to have about the shift and changes, not only the shift that happens all the time with new laws and regulations, but the shifts that we too need to have in our heads about getting into this second phase. You always call it the second phase of your financial life. So how do you help folks keep up with all the changes that have to be made in this next phase?
And even in the last few years, Heather, things have changed. Like the tax code is changing in 2026, and we had the Secure Act 2.0 that came out right over Christmas time. Everyone was celebrating Christmas and the holidays, and Congress got together and passed the Secure Act 2.0, which changed RMDs, postponed RMDs out to age 73. It affects people that are taking inherited RMDs. And so we actually just had a couple call in and come into the office, and it actually became clients. They live down in the Triangle, Virginia area near Stafford, right off of 95. I've got a little under $1 million saved. They're in their early 60s, retiring in about 5 years. And their concerns were some of the rules to the retirement game that are changing soon, including taxes. Matter of fact, the number one reason why the husband picked up the phone to call us and to come in and set up a plan or see if we would be a good fit to set up their plan was to address their tax concerns, because he knew that the tax code is changing, scheduled to change, January 1st of 2026, and is supposed to revert back to the prior tax code. So if taxes are on sale and you believe we're in a fair tax environment right now, like this couple, they wanted to see if they were candidates to take advantage of that, right? And pay some additional taxes at a fair sale and discount. And so they wanted guidance around tax planning and a comprehensive plan. The wife has an inherited IRA. She just had a family member pass last year, and she's got inherited RMDs due. I mean, this couple knows nothing about distribution, right? They're in their early 60s, 5 years left till they retire. Obviously, they're still focused on accumulation and growth and maxing out their accounts. And here the IRS is saying, hey, wait a minute, you received an inherited IRA, you've got forced RMD distributions due, and the tax code's changing as well in the next few years. So the solution for them, Heather, was to put together a phase 2 distribution-focused plan on protection, on preservation, on reducing tax, on handling these forced IRS required minimum distributions. This was all new to them, but important as they were transitioning into full retirement. And again, taxes were top of mind for the husband. So we put all that together for him, put together a proposal, and showed him how we can help them transition successfully and safely into a phase 2 retirement where their working paychecks stop and they can retire and live their retirement of their dreams, right? Mm-hmm. So if this couple sounds like you and you have similar concerns about taxes, about forced distributions and RMDs and things like that, just go to our website, retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Okay, so while we are on the subject of ever-changing laws and rules, that's not the only factor that comes into play when it comes to figuring out our finances. Because what do? We often listen to and look at folks like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, other people that have just been in this world for a long time, have a lot of intelligence, have a lot of insight to offer. And even they have different ideas, differing opinions, Abe. Because,
sure, everyone does.
Right, especially if you look at pre-2020, post-2020. So back in 2019, billionaire Ray Dalio, he went on the record and he said, and I quote, "Cash is trash, everybody." And yet here we are, Abe.
Right now it isn't.
Fast forward, and Mr. Ray Dalio has flip-flop even on his own sentiment and now telling CNBC that, quote, cash is a better investment than stocks and bonds maybe. Here's Mr. Dalio.
You've got a cash rate that's relatively high. Cash used to be trashy.
Cash is trash is what you used to say.
Yes, negative 1.5%, 2% real rates. Terrible. Now cash is relatively attractive.
So what are your thoughts here? Do you agree? And is this not such a perfect example of why we all need to seek out some help and advice in this space, Abe?
Well, Heather, just a few years ago, we were, having commercials on WMAL talking about dead money.
Yep.
Right? I mean, people would have money in the banks making between 0 and 1%. It was dead. It was going backwards. It wasn't keeping up with inflation. And, cash is still not keeping up with inflation. It's getting closer. But with the Federal Reserve raising rates 10 times over the last year and a half, well, rates on savings accounts and checking accounts and CD accounts and money market accounts and treasuries by the government and fixed and safe products with principal guarantees like fixed rate annuities have gone up. All of these have gone up. And so, cash isn't trash right now, especially as we might be sliding into a recession if we're not already in one. I think a lot of, economists would predict that we probably will be heading into a recession later this year. And if so, having some dry powder doesn't hurt, right? Especially if the markets are going to go backwards here and they could go either way. So we just recently had a couple call in and come in from Herndon, Virginia, just about 20 minutes away from our office. They're both around 70 years old, just about a year or two away from full retirement, 1.7 million accumulated and a 4 on our risk scale. So conservative investors, valuing protection and preservation more than just crushing it in the market with 20 and 30% returns. Their problem was, before they came to us and they knew they needed to do this, was that they were taking on too much risk. And they were invested as if they were a 7 or an 8 on our risk scale. So as we show them their Morningstar and Riskalyze analysis on all their investments, they realize, oh, wow, yep, we are taking on way too much risk, and that's one of the big reasons why we're here. They also needed consolidation. They had accounts everywhere, which is common. So as you and your spouse are saving and putting away dollars for retirement, a lot of times people move from company to company, and you've got 3 or 4 old 401ks out there. Yeah. You've got IRAs, TSPs, brokerage accounts, you name it. This couple had 7, 8, 9 different accounts that we were able to bring under one roof. And that is really helpful for people. Yeah. People don't feel like it's as daunting to get everything together and really understand what they have, when they have 10 different accounts hanging out there. So they needed consolidation. They needed a plan for phase 2 as they transition into retirement. They needed to reduce risk, probably the biggest elephant in the room. They wanted a plan as well to reduce taxes and create income to replace their working paychecks. So the solution for them was to create a comprehensive phase 2 plan that addressed all of this, protect 60% of their life savings, and we implemented several safe solutions. You talk about rates on cash going up that offer protection and decent yield. What are some of those right now today? A 6-month treasury, Heather, is paying well over currently 5%.
Wow.
Fixed rate annuities are paying 4, 4.5%, 5.5% guaranteed. CDs are paying 4 to 5%, right? So we can not only keep some of our powder dry and safe, but we can also get decent yield on some of these vehicles temporarily while we wait for the dust to settle. And it's very comforting for our clients to know they can not only protect their money, but keep it safe in instruments like these and get some decent yield, better than 0 to 1%, which we saw several years ago. So if you're listening right now and you sound a little bit like this couple in Herndon, Virginia, Go to our website, retirementkeyradio.com. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.